Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Bob. And we appreciate the questions. The questions are fantastic and they help us help you. Several of them today. I have mild sciatica, and sciatica is the sciatic nerve is a named nerve in the low back that goes down to the butt and to the leg, and it's sciatic. In the morning it hurts, gradually during the day it calms down. My doctor has now referred me to a rheumatologist. What's your advice? Well, first I would strongly encourage you to be assessed by a very skilled chiropractor. If you don't have a skilled chiropractor in your area, you might as well come to see us. Just go to CLE, just type in Dr. Bob DiMaria. I have a degree in spinal engineering. But what we have found from our experience is a couple very important points. If your neck is in a very forward position, it will literally put a pull on your spinal cord. You can have low back and leg pain because your neck is forward. I'm going to share some physiology with you right now that really not a lot of people really understand. The nerves from your neck become the phrenic nerve. The phrenic nerve goes to your diaphragm. It innervates your diaphragm. That means it sends it the electricity. The diaphragm takes its attachment at the same spot in the lower back region that muscles called the psoas muscles attached to, that go to your hip and to your leg. It is not uncommon for us to do a spinal correction to the neck and the mid-back region and help take away pain that people have been suffering with for years. Second point, sugar and dairy create inflammation. I would really encourage you to get Dr. Bob's Trans Fat Survival Guide and read the chapter in there on winning the pain game. I also know that lack of vitamin D as in delta can be a reason to have low back and leg pain. Drink more water. If you smoke cigarettes, people who smoke usually have more decayed disc in their spine than those who do not. You want to make sure before you do any procedures like surgery, you really need to come to visit us. I don't care where you live, anywhere in the world. We always have patients that have been told that they need to have spinal surgery, and more often than not, with appropriate and necessary lifestyle changes, it will go away. Question number 2, you recommend coconut oil. My husband has high cholesterol, and they told him to stay away from it. I believe there's a lot of misinformation. I personally take and use 2 tablespoons of coconut oil every day. My cholesterol is absolutely normal. You see, cholesterol is a plant-sourced oil. I know it's a saturated fat, but I want you to know that it will not raise your cholesterol. It won't. Actually, it will lower your cholesterol because it's going to help the hormones in your body function better, including the thyroid. One of the reasons I see high cholesterol is stress, sugar, trans fat, congested or compromised liver function, and a low thyroid gland. I would encourage you. They've done studies with cows. They wanted to fatten cows up with coconut oil, and the cows actually lost weight. So I spread coconut oil on a rice cake with almond butter. I put it in the freezer. You can stir fry with it. It's awesome. I promise you, if oil is the reason that he's having high cholesterol, the cholesterol itself will go down with coconut oil. Just trust me. It works. I've been doing this since 1978. What is fasting and how healthy is it? That's a very interesting question today. If you go to the Bible in Daniel, it talks about the Daniel fast, vegetables. If you're going to do any kind of fasting today, it's giving your colon a rest. But unfortunately today we have so many people whose bodies are debilitated. If you fast, your body will start actually cannibalizing muscle. You don't want to use fruit if you fast. It all depends what your fasting is for. I would much rather have you use green leafy vegetables that are organic and use them raw. Maybe juice them not more than 8 ounces at a time. You want your state of health to be optimal before you go on a long-term fast, because that word cannibalize means your body needs fuel and it will burn muscle for fuel. And I know that many of you cannot afford that. My wife, number 4, always has a low iron count. Should it be a concern? But I'm going to give you a secret right now. I have found many patients come into my office today who have a passion addiction for bread and gluten. And the gluten coats their intestine so they cannot absorb iron and minerals. We have seen chronic anemic challenges because of that. I've also had ladies that I've spoken to that have had their uterus taken out, hysterectomy from heavy menstrual flow. So your wife could be anemic because she has compromised liver function, which means high estrogen. So her real issue could be her liver is not processing the estrogen because she's eating too much junk food. So there's a lot of reasons, and just taking iron is not always the reason, because you could have an addiction to eclairs, wheat, pastry, wrong trans fat that's impairing colon function. I need help with frequent muscle spasms, arthritis, and bursitis. Muscle spasms are oftentimes caused by a lack of calcium. Now, bursitis and tendinitis, we use a product in our practice called BioCMP, calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Unfortunately, diuretics take calcium and magnesium and potassium out of the body. Celtic sea salt would help. Taking a bath with Epsom salts would help also. Once again, minimize sugar. Sugar takes calcium and magnesium and potassium out of the body, and I believe that avocados are a better source for your long-term health for potassium versus bananas. Last question. My husband was diagnosed with the start of a cataract, and he feels like he has a film over his eyes. Dr. Bob, what can I do? Well, I can tell you that there could be a calcium-phosphorus imbalance in his body. And because of that, he could have more calcium in his eye, in his lens. So we do a blood test, a blood serum test looking for calcium and phosphorus. And oftentimes we will supplement with a product called Super Phosphozyme. And that helps tremendously help us eliminate cataracts. We appreciate all the questions that you have and that you send to us, and we look forward to making a difference in your life. Thank you.